So what do we have?
A box.
So we're gonna what?
Open it.
Unbox it. Okay.
Yes.
I wonder what's in it. What do you think's
Me
in
too.
it?
Maybe a pen.
A pen? Maybe.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Careful with the knife.
Yeah.
So I actually know what this is. It's quite interesting. You're gonna be a little surprised when you see it because it's pretty weird.
Is it something that you usually won't get?
Well, it's different. We'll call it that. I think you have to get the bottom there. That one along the seam there. Good knife skills. Haven't cut anything off yet. Look at that. I got more wrapping.
Oh, that's what you ordered. This feels heavy. Is it ink?
No, not ink. Well, no. Old ink, maybe. Ink will have to clear
Oh,
out.
it's a pen. Oh, it's a few pens.
Well, yeah. It says... I have no idea what that says. I think I know what that says.
I can't read handwriting.
I think it says Svoboda.
It's 5 beautiful pens. It's in 3 plus.
They're all the same pen in various stages of brokenness. I've bought a bunch of broken pens.
So are you just going to kind of mix them all together into one pen?
Actually, yours.
Because what you could do is just take chunks that aren't broken and then mix it into one big pen that isn't broken.
You know how my mind works.
Yes.
Actually, that's pretty much what I had in mind. So I got these on
Salvage
eBay
them.
at a good price. Yeah, we'll salvage them.
Yeah.
But I'll explain what I'm doing.
It looks pretty neat.
Yeah. So
Very broken, though.
as you can see, there's sort of I think these are from Bulgaria, and I think the pen brand is Svoboda, right? Svoboda is a name that when I was a kid, there used to be a hockey player, Peter Svoboda, in the NHL. And so Svoboda is a name from Czechoslovakia, but also Bulgaria, Ukraine, Russia, places like those. And this is an old pen from the 40s. And they're all the same.
Ooh, this one has a good nib.
Actually,
That nib's fairly intact.
Actually, that nib is good. I was expecting some.
Let's
nib
compare
to be,
this to
Let's
this.
keep the caps. Make sure you put the cap back
Yes.
with the right pen.
But this nib
Let's see it. Hang on.
this one goes...
Actually, that one's pretty good too.
That's pretty good, but it has a bit of staining.
Well, staining, you know what? We can wash that off.
Yeah.
You want to put that back on? I think one of them doesn't have a nib or a feed. And I'll explain what I have in mind. This
You're
one.
gonna Frankenstein?
How did you know that? How did you even know that term, Frankenstein?
It's a story that's fairly well known.
So that nib doesn't look quite like the others.
No, it looks a bit blunted, almost.
A little dented. We might be able to straighten that out, though.
Wanna know what it kind of looks like? Kind of looks like the end folded over.
Yeah, probably was dropped. I knew when I actually, so far, the nibs are in better shape than I thought they'd be.
I found the one without a nib.
Or a feed, but the body is good. And there's...
Yeah.
Actually, that one has... Anyway,
Minimal.
you want to put the cap back on? So they're all in pretty rough shape, right?
Very broken.
What I'm going to do is take them apart, clean them up, find all the parts that are good. And if one pen, this one I think has... This one has no piston. But I'll explain even with that. And the clip is a little... bent, but that can be fixed. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Actually, though, when you look at the quality, that's a little. Maybe it's just loose. I might be able to tighten that. When they're the
one's in fairly high quality.
Good shape, really.
That.
Yeah. Good shape. There's not a lot of corrosion on them, but the caps are scratched. There's a couple cracks here and there, a couple parts missing, but what I'm thinking of doing is, like you say, look all... actually, the nib on that one's pretty good, too.
Maybe you
I'm missing...
even show finding some of the parts that work.
I could find all the parts that work. I'm going to clean all the bodies up, of course.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is wash out all the old ink. These were all piston fillers. Like you can see, for instance, this one, right? Here.
Yeah.
Actually,
this one has a good example.
That one has a good example right there, right?
Yes.
So there's a piston on it. Pistons are jammed at the moment, but what we're going to do is take all these apart, wash them up. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's a blind cap on it,
Yes.
right?
That one has it.
And then when you pull that off, you get the piston inside, piston knob.
I think
Now,
these pens might be slightly different because some of the details don't match up. Like this one has a bit of frilling at the bottom where the other doesn't.
and it's a little different
So
length, right?
Might be
Yeah.
they might all be slightly different pens.
Slightly different.
Models maybe.
Yeah, and I think, but they're all the same brand, Svoboda.
Yes.
Now, what I'm going to do
They should go together.
is try to find parts, try to see if there's one pen here. Now, but also, because, actually, this is the one that's missing.
How old are these?
I would say these are from the 1940s, 1930s, maybe.
Pretty old.
Yeah, so all the knobs are jammed.
Everything's kind of
Actually,
broken up a little bit.
no, wait.
Oh,
Look at this one. This one that's missing the nib, right?
that one has a fairly good piston.
The piston still moves. Gonna have to take it out, though. Figure out how to.
Defrost,
Well,
if it has any.
what you'd use is silicone grease and things like that. And you'd scrub them down, clean off any old ink.
Didn't know that.
But what I could do with this is find a feed that would fit it, find a nib that would fit it, right? And if I have trouble with the pistons, take them out. Anyway, I do have some elaborate plans.
Yes.
For instance, this
We
one.
can.
Well, like for instance, this one right here. Take it because there's no piston and there's no.
It's a good body though.
The
That one's
body's
in
good.
like really good shape and it looks nice.
Right. But
Cause
what I was thinking is taking some of your skills as a miniaturist, making a cast of the piston bottom, like the blind cap, casting it in resin, making a resin plug shaped like the end of this pen for this pen, gluing it in and turning this into what they call an eyedropper. So I would seal off the end with resin. You know, it would look like a piston knob, but it would actually just be a plug. And then you would fill it by taking off the section and dropping ink into it like an eyedropper.
Yeah.
And then you would just close that up using silicone grease and things like that.
Yeah.
That is my crazy plan.
I think that's a good
But
idea.
I will try to find parts from within this bunch of pens.
And we'll probably do an update video
Yeah.
on seeing how we have reshaped these pens.
Yeah, but looking at them, you can see that they're all slightly
Different?
and slightly similar. I think. Oh, I'm thinking this one is shorter, of course. These three are actually the same.
I think those ones are the same.
Yeah,
maybe.
these two, I
Ish.
think.
This one has a slightly thicker end than that one.
Well, these two are missing the knob, right? The cap.
Yeah, but this one is slightly thicker, so I think they might be slightly different.
Yeah, they're all slightly different. But we're going to work on these and Frankenstein some pens out of it.
Yeah.
And that might take a little while, though.
We could, and we'll do an update video with
And I'll try
whatever
to,
we have.
take some resins and build body parts for the pens. I will identify what the actual brand name is. I'll translate the information on the clip. But I think the name is Svoboda. And I believe these pens are from Bulgaria from 1940s.
It'll be very interesting and
Or we could just have a pile of junk.
yeah.
Sometimes
But-
you use junk as parts, right?
Yeah,
But actually, I think we can get one nice pen out of all this.
at least.
And a couple weird ones.
Yeah.
And also,
It'll be fun.
we could also find, say, some nibs from other pens that we might have that might fit these.
I think for sure.
Yeah, because I think a couple of the nibs are actually in good shape.
Yeah.
There's just one
like,
that's bent and there's one that doesn't exist.
You can definitely just there are definitely some parts on these at least that you can't salvage.
Yeah, it's going to take a bit of cleaning.
Yeah.
That's part of the fun of the hobby.
And we'll do an update video to see what we have.
What I have. So what do we say? If you like this video...
Hit the like button.
Mm-hmm.
Subscribe if you wish to help out the channel and see our videos more. And notification bell's a thing, I guess.
Yeah. And thank you very much for watching.
Yeah. Have a great day, everyone.
And if anybody has any information about these pens, I'd love to hear it in the comments.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.